Hi friends, and welcome to faerireads, where we talk about things that make the mundane more magical. Normally that means we talk about books. We usually talk about books here, but as you can tell by the title of this video, today I want to focus more on reflecting on my goals from 2020, just on the year as a whole, and sort of setting goals for the new year for 2021. So this is a bit of a more personal one, but if that sounds interesting to you, just keep watching. So I do want to talk about more sort of personal goals that I set for myself in 2020 and whether I accomplished them or not, and discuss about my plans for the next year. So some of these may be kind of bookish, but I want these to just be like general life goals and just discuss those things because they matter as well. It's not just all about the books for me, but I may make a separate video where I focus more on bookish goals and like my bookish progress. But for now, we're just going to focus on 2020 in general and my general goals. So I have got my 2020 planner here, and I'm not a huge planner person. I really only use it for like appointments, but I like to have something just in case I ever decide I'm going to be a planner person one day. But I did use the beginning, there's a little section in this planner to write your yearly goals. So I did write some goals for 2020 in here. So I'm just going to read through the list and we'll see how I did. So it turns out 2020 was, a year that did not go according to plan for really anybody. But I did manage to achieve a few of the goals that I had set for myself, but not the first one. The first one, I said to cook more, and I would say I'm about where I was in 2019. I don't really cook more or less, and really I was hoping to cook more healthy meals and like get focused on my diet more, but as the year progressed, I was more concerned about just finding food, buying a lot of frozen food, so I would limit my trips to the store. I wasn't really breaking out and trying new recipes or anything like that. I just kind of went in survival mode, which I think is fair for a lot of us, but that may be something that I try to revisit this next year. And the next goal I said was to commit to a fitness routine. I would say maybe I partially completed that goal. I do have a somewhat routine. It's just really hard for me to work out when I work because I have pretty much a 12-hour work day. I leave the house at like 6:30 and I don't get back until like 5 on some days, and I'm usually just so tired and I already have to cook dinner. I have a lot of things to do, so I just don't work out on work days. But maybe that's something I can change in 2020. We'll see. I do have a few like fitness subscriptions that I'm eyeing that I would like to try, that I think I would enjoy. And by that I mean like workout apps and like different programs. But I really hesitate to, bite the bullet with those because I'm already so inconsistent with like free workouts, which is all I do. I just do like YouTube video kind of stuff. But I'm so inconsistent with those. Do I really want to spend money on something that I'll never do? But would the money motivate me to actually do it so I'm not wasting my money? I don't know. But that's another one that we may bump into the next year. So this is something I wrote on my list as a like personal sort of health goal. I did have to have a sort of medical procedure done in 2020, and I did manage to get that. I had a frenectomy, which is like the ending ectomy sounds. It is a removal, a surgery of sorts. I didn't go under anything. I had my frenulum removed, and a frenulum, hopefully I'm remembering the word right, is like a thin connective tissue in the body. And so I'm just going to show you an example. You have frenulum in your mouth that connects your lips to your gums, your teeth area. So if you're grossed out by mouths and things like that, I'm gonna go ahead and show it, and then I may edit it out or whatever, or I'll put up something if you want to skip ahead and you want to miss this because you're grossed out by mouth things. But you have a frenulum at the top and at the bottom. So I'll show you, see that right there? That little tissue. And if you take your tongue up and you run up your lips, you can feel it there. It's like right underneath your nose. It's the underside of like your Cupid's bow area here. It's what's on the inside. And you have one at the bottom. I had my bottom one removed because it was pulling down my gum line. And being a fairly young person, like I would go to the doctor, not the doctor, but the dentist every year, twice a year, you know, when you're recommended to go in for a cleaning, a sort of checkup. And my hygienist would always be like, you need to floss, you need to floss. And I was like, because like I had gum recession, and I was like, I'm trying to floss. I don't know why they keep yelling at me. And sometimes I'm probably not as regular as I should be, but I was like, why are they really hounding me about this? And then finally, when the dentist checked on me, he said, oh, it's because of your frenulum. And like my frenulum was pulling down. I have major recession between like my bottom. Isn't your eye teeth, or is that just the top? I don't know, but like my bottom two teeth and the gums between those, there's like major recession, and my gum line is kind of like flapping around. But so it was the muscle, it was that tissue that was like pulling down on it, and it's more of a genetic thing, and I just happened to, you know, win the genetic lottery for that to happen in my mouth. So I went ahead and had the procedure done, and you know, it had been something that I'd kind of been talking to my dentist about in 2019, but I kind of wanted to save up and make sure my finances were in order to do that. So I managed to do it in like January or February of 2020, and they did it with a laser, and it was just like, you know, the lasers, it looks like a stylus or something. Like here's a pin, but like it's about the size of a pin, and it has like a little pointed head at the top, and they just like, they did numb me, which I think they used a shot to numb me, which wasn't too bad. You just feel a little pinch, and then I was numb, and I felt like my lips were huge, and then they just pulled over my lip and took the laser and just like, zoop. And it was kind of, it's pretty wild it's a kind of strange experience, because like smoke would be rising and you could kind of like smell your own flesh burning. But sorry if this is TMI, I'm an open book when it comes to like body things, but it was also kind of cool. It felt very like surreal, and like, you know, I was like a superhuman or something, that my skin was on fire, but like I couldn't feel it. But I am glad I had it done. And it's one less thing to worry about, you know, in the coming year. LOL at the next one. I said to travel. Oh, you summer child, you year ago self, thinking you could travel in 2020. Oh, the next one was to try therapy, which I did achieve. I did try it. I went once. I found a therapist that I thought I would really like and I would vibe with, and I went and, you know, went through an appointment, and I liked the therapist. I thought we vibed well or whatever, but I learned I can't afford it. It's just not sustainable for me. And I think, not to say I have perfect mental health or anything, I do think I have issues, just like I feel like we all do, but I feel like I can pretty much manage my symptoms, I guess, on my own, and therapy is not a huge necessity for me at this moment in my life. And this is very much a personal decision, but I'm just being open and transparent about it. I just don't think it's something that I need right now, and it's definitely not something I need to be spending money on right now. So that's where I am on that. I am pro therapy. I do think it works wonders, but it's just not what I need in this moment. Really, I just needed someone to talk to, and you can get that from other places. Another goal I made in 2020 was to start a blog or YouTube about books. And hey, here I am. I'm still doing it, so I would put a little check on that one. I also wanted to adopt another kitten. So I had Howl. I got Howl in like late 2017, I want to say, or maybe it was 2018. I don't know. But I'd already had Howl for like over a year, and I was wanting a little companion for him because I do just love cats. And Howl he's kind of a rescue, but I didn't adopt him. He was just given to me by a family member. And I've always kind of wanted to just adopt from a rescue shelter or agency or things like that. And so I did that with Markle. So now I have 2 little boy cats in my house, and I love them to pieces. They are so precious to me. I love cats in general, so I'm just happy to have helped another cat and to provide another happy home for another cat. I thought Hal was going to be more on board than he was. I talked more about that in a video. I have a like meet my cats video, which I'll link in the cards. But yeah, I'm really glad that I went for it. There were moments where I was like, oh, I made the worst decision of my life, but it did end up working out. And yeah, I love my little kitty boys. The next goal was to work on my flower beds. So I haven't really changed the outside of my home since I moved in, and I've been here for like almost 3 years. And the outside's looking a bit rough. I wanted to change the flower beds last year, obviously, but it has not happened. I'm much more of an interior person. Like, I know the style I like when it comes to interior design. I feel like very achievable. Like, I can execute the vision I have in my head, but with like plants, like life forms that have like a will of sorts of their own. Like, you can't fully control what they do. Like, I feel kind of helpless about that. And also it's much more labor intensive. Like, I feel like I'm probably gonna have to just like gut my flower beds. I don't really know. I may be able to salvage some of it, but like that's not something I can easily do by myself. So yeah, I may need to, you know, recruit some help, but I'm hoping I can do that next year and just improve the outdoor ambiance of my home. The next goal I had was to work on my bathroom. So I partially did this. Well, I would say I'm going to put a check by it because I did work on it. That was the goal. I'm still working on sort of making over. I won't say renovating because it's not that intense, but I am trying to kind of make over my hall bathroom, which I'm kind of trying to vlog. I do have footage of me like going through the bathroom and explaining what I want to do. But it's been a very slow process. Instead of spending a lot of money at once, I'm just kind of like doing a little bit here and there, and it's been like a months long ordeal. So there may be a video coming eventually if I ever finally get to a place where I feel like I want to share it. But yeah, I am slowly. It's just a big process of like making a house a home. It's like a continual project, you know. So I will say I achieved that goal, but I want to go further next year. I also said to improve guitar. So I sort of play guitar. I'm kind of taught myself, but it's just very rudimentary. I know a few chords. I'm not a virtuoso or anything like that. So I was hoping to improve guitar, and I would say I failed at that this past year. I just didn't really. I picked up the guitar like maybe, like I can probably count on one hand the number of times that I played guitar this year, which I hate, but maybe I'll do better next year. I also had some like personal finance goals, which I don't want to get too into because again, I feel like it's kind of personal, but most of the stuff I said I was going to, I didn't do. I did get what I would call an emergency fund. I did sort of achieve that, but I still think I can do better, and I can work on the other things as well. I also said I wanted to write, and it did not happen. It did not happen. I have a story in my head that I would like to eventually turn into a full-length novel, but it's more, I'm good at having like ideas of stories and like sort of a vibe of a story, but like actually fleshing it out. Like, it's like I kind of have the bones of a story, but I can't fully flesh it out, if that makes sense. But I would like to, better that in 2021. I also had some more like spiritual goals, like faith-based goals. So I wanted to give up soda for Lent last year, and I did, kind of. Well, I'm giving myself a check. I do think I ended up having soda like maybe 2 or 3 times because there were times I'd be eating out or someone would bring dinner over and they'd forget and they got me a Sprite, and I didn't want to waste it. I didn't want to feel bad. So I ended up having a few Sprites here and there. But for the most part, I only drink water. That was my goal, to really drink more water and like prove myself that I could do it. And I was mostly successful, like I said. So may end up doing that again next year and just trying to drink more water in general. That's always a good goal. I also, this is sort of another LOL because of 2021. I wanted to be more regular in my small group and my church, which, well, our small group kind of stopped because we couldn't meet because of social distancing requirements, and my church closed like right away pretty much, but they've been on and off. They've been going online ever since quarantine started, and so I've been watching pretty much every week online, so I was consistent in that way, but I haven't been in person since March. So in my opinion, I did meet the goal, but some nitpickers may say no, but it's the little victories, right? So those were my goals in 2020. I would say, considering how unexpected that year was, I did pretty well. So I want to quickly share some of my goals for 2021. A lot of these hold over from last year, like I said, so I'm going to try to omit those. If I mention I want to try it again in 2021, I already said it, I'm not going to say it again. But some other ones I want to do are learning piano / music theory. It's just what I said. So I got a keyboard. That was like my big gift from Santa this year. And so I'm trying to, it's one of those like smart keyboards where you can kind of teach yourself. So I want to learn piano a bit more, and also just learn a bit more about music theory because I love music. I have experience like singing in choirs, but like no formal training in terms of like, one-on-one training or anything like that. And I was also in band in school. I played the flute. So I can read music. I have a very like basic understanding of music, but I feel like I could benefit more from learning music theory. And also I'd like to be able to, hear a note and be able to identify it and like improve my, not really sight reading, what do you call that? Your musical ear, I guess. I'd like to get to a point where I can identify notes like that, and sort of like if I could hear a song, I can play it on piano or whatever. That's a very lofty goal, I feel like, but it's something to work toward. I also want to make over my bedroom, which I'm in right now. You can only see my bookshelves, but I'd like to do the whole room over, give it a fresh coat of paint, give it a fresh new look. So maybe I can get to that in the summer. I also want to have more kind of dental work done. Not really dental work, but just, it's dental related. So like I said, I had my frenulectomy last year. This year, I've mentioned in videos before, I did last year get kind of, it wasn't a formal diagnosis, but my dentist looked at me and he did confirm that I have TMJ. And so that's kind of why it's really hard for me to talk in videos. Like I misspeak and it's like my mouth doesn't work right sometimes. It's all goes back to my jaw. So we did talk about the last time I was there getting a sort of TMJ device, like some kind of night guard or something that's custom fit to help me not grind my teeth when I sleep. But I'm also, especially now that I am filming myself and watching myself when I edit videos, feeling a little more self-conscious about my teeth. They are, I know in general, like compared to like all the teeth in the world, I'm pretty blessed. My teeth are pretty straight They were naturally pretty straight, but I did as a child have to get spacers put in because my main issue is not really that my teeth grow in crooked, there's just not enough room for them. So they crowd over, you know, they kind of like push over each other because there's not enough room. So I had spacers put in for a while, and then I eventually had braces. I only wore braces for like 6 months or so because my teeth were mostly straight. It was just they needed to spread out and like even out more. And of course, after you get braces, you get retainers. So you're supposed to wear your retainer to not lose all the hard work that your braces did because your teeth do move over time. And the thing is, I hate my retainers with a passion. I just hate the feeling. And I hate, you know, especially like living in college with roommates or just like sleepovers whenever someone's over at night, if they want to talk to you when you have your retainers in. Like I can't talk, I'm like lisping and it's so awkward to talk, so I'd have to pop my retainer out to talk to them. And so basically I was never super great about wearing my retainers in high school because I felt they were uncomfortable. I have like the plastic and wire retainers, like the roof of your mouth is like the plastic and then the wires go around your teeth. And the wires just like scrape my cheeks. It's just not comfortable. And so I wasn't super great about wearing them in high school, but especially when I moved away to college, like again, like I said, having roommates and stuff and sort of being on my own and moving a lot in that time period, I just stopped wearing my retainers. And you can tell when you look at my mouth because I do have crossing over happening in like my front teeth there. So yeah, I would like to talk to the dentist about maybe getting some kind of clear aligners. I'm not sure if there's something that could just straighten out my teeth but also be a sort of night guard and kind of kill two birds with one stone. I don't know, but that's something I'd like to at least think about addressing in the next year. Another goal that I have for the new year is more of a creative goal, something I've been interested in a while, and that is learning lettering, like taking a lettering course. I follow a lot of Instagram accounts that are just like digital illustration, digital art, like lettering. I think Ashton Creates is a big creator on Instagram that's popular for things like that. So I just admire that kind of content, and so I'd like to look into learning that skill myself and just seeing where that goes and, you know, building my creativity in that way. And hopefully, like my sort of vision, my dream, the ideal would be to kind of incorporate that into my Bookstagram, my Bookternet content as well. So, but that's sort of getting into bookish goals, which I mostly want to save for another video. I do want to hopefully continue with this channel, with my Bookstagram. That has been a huge blessing in 2020, was just like starting this, and like I'm proud of myself for not giving up and continuing with it despite having a full-time job, having a lot of things going on, especially in this year with a lot going on. So I'm proud for like the little victories I made, but I want to keep going in the future. Thank you for watching this video. It was probably a little rambly, very personal, so, you know, maybe you don't relate to a lot of this, but I do appreciate your time and your attention, and I'm wishing you well in the new year. This may be a belated message because it's New Year's Day when I'm filming this, but it'll probably be a little bit later when this finally gets uploaded. But I still want to wish you well in all your goals and endeavors in the new year. I'd love to hear about your 2020 goals and your goals and expectations for 2021. If you'd like to share any little victories that you've had in 2020, I'd love to, you know, celebrate with you in the comments. So again, thanks for watching. Bye.